welcome back. Let's go ahead and write our insert methods. I promise that after you get the hang of the list methods that these guys are going to be a piece of cake. All right. So remember, we're only going to allow insertion for assignments and grade entries, all right, not for students from our clients. So let's go ahead and write these guys. So I'm going to define, and I'll start off with assignment insert. And that's going to take self, and then it's going to take some assignment that's going to be inserted. Let's go ahead and quote this guy here. And remember, we're going to use insert for either inserting a new one or updating an old one. So add or update an assignment. And again, it's going to be one that's owned by the given user, right? So we're going to have authentication on this guy. All right, and let's go ahead and close up the doc string. And then just put a pass in as a placeholder. And let's write our annotation. So we're back in the assignment class. So assignment dot, and this guy is just a regular method, not a query method. So we're going to have our user required always when we're doing authentication. So user required is equal to true. And then we're going to have for assignments here just name path and HTTP method. So let's go ahead and write these guys. So name is going to be assignment dot insert, and then path is going to be assignment / insert, and then HTTP method is going to be so insert, we're going to use a post. All right, so that looks pretty decent here. So what are we going to write for the body of our method, right? So remember this whole idea that the difference between inserting and updating was whether it was already in the data store. And if it's already in the data store, you basically just can just fill it in with the new data, right? I mean, it's going to pass in a fully populated model from the client. So we should just be able to use that if it's there. So if assignment dot from data store, and this is just a field, okay, not a method. So if the assignment is from the data store, then we can basically use it, and we'll see how we're going to do that in a second. Otherwise, right, what are we going to do? The whole thing was that if it wasn't in the data store and we had to create it, then we were going to have to add on a parent ourselves. And you can only add on the parent at the time that you created the object. There's no setter for the parent or anything like that. So we're going to have to assign this one. So what I'm going to say is assignment with parent is equal to, and it's essentially going to be a new assignment, right? And its parent is going to be the user key, right? So let's see. So it's going to be main dot get parent key from user. Oh, from user. All right, we need to grab the user. So we did this on our query methods. So endpoints dot get current user method, right? And that's that user right here. So this our current user is the one that we're passing in to the get parent key method, right? So it's going to make a key out of that, and that'll give us part of it. What else do assignments have? I guess just a name. So name is equals to the name that was passed to us in our method. So this assignment right here, its name. So assignment dot name. Okay. And then let's see. So if this is to make assignment with parent, let's see. So let's go back here. If it was from the data store already, then we don't have to make a new one. We just have to basically take the old one, right? So it's just equal to assignment because it was already in the data store, so it must already have a parent. Okay, great. So we don't need to add it. All right. So now we have an assignment with a parent. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the data store. Okay. And again, let's think about what happens in each case, right? So if this was an assignment that already existed that we were passing in some new data, we're going to tell the data store, hey, here's some information, and it's going to say, oh, this is something that I already have the entity key for or the ID for, so I'm just going to update, right? In the other case is one that was not in the data store, so we're in our else case. So we're going ahead and making a new one, and we're putting that in. And it's actually not the assignment that I want to put in, it's the one with the parent. So let's go ahead and update this guy. Assign with parent dot put. Okay. The only other thing that we want to do is, again, the silly thing with these methods. So any method is going to both accept an assignment as a parameter, and we're going to have to return an assignment as well. And that's easy enough to do. We'll just return, and it really doesn't matter. I'm going to return the one with the parent just because it's the most up to date. All right, so something like that. All right, let's go ahead and write something very similar for our grade entry, right? So I'm going to try to get away with the copy and paste again. I think it worked out last time. So grade entry dot method. The user is required again. Name is going to be grade entry, all one word smushed together. Insert grade entry / insert for the path. Still a post method. The name is going to be grade entry insert self, and of course it's going to take a grade entry. Add or update, let's see, a grade entry. All right. And this is actually really for an assignment, right? So assignments are going to have a grade entry here. So let's see, if the grade entry, so again, we're going to have to deal with the same thing to distinguish between editing and creating new ones. And so if the grade entry was from the data store, then the parent version that you're going to insert in here really is just the grade entry, right? So don't do anything special with it. In fact, we can just take it, grade entry with parent, just put it, and return that guy as well. Now the difference is going to be if it isn't from the data store, so we're going to have to fill in the data here. So we get the user again. And what else do we need to do? So a grade entry with parent is going to be a new grade entry. So I'm calling the constructor here. The parent on this guy actually isn't the user, right? The parent is going to be the assignment, right? So we need to do something a little bit different here. We want to get the assignment. Now we actually do already have it in the grade entry that was passed in, right? Even though it may not be set as a parent yet, it should have if it's a grade entry. Let's go back here. We're expecting the client to pass in grade entries have an assignment key, right? Let's go ahead and grab that guy. So that's what we're going to have for a parent here. Okay. What else do we have? So we're going to have, we've set the parent. Now we're going to have to set back in our models. Grade entries have a score, a student key, and an assignment key. So let's set all those. Right. So next one, score. That's going to be easy. That's just going to be grade entry dot score. Okay. And then what did we say? We said it has a student key. Right, so let's do this here. So student key is going to be grade entry dot student key, okay. And then the assignment key is going to be I guess I'm being a little bit inconsistent here with my spacing. I know sometimes people will do this in Python. They won't leave any spaces when they're assigning their properties here. Might as well do that. So this is going to be the grade entry dot assignment key. Okay. So the only thing that we're adding to this here is, like we said, is adding a parent. I'm actually going to do one more thing here, right? And we would be done otherwise. But the question is, you know, I want the grades to be unique for each. What do I want to say here? So grade entries should be unique within an assignment, right, for each user. And there's actually a little sneaky thing that I can do to make this happen, right? And that's to set an ID. we've been using entity keys, and entity keys are usually very much the right thing to use. Entity keys are completely unique within your app. IDs are only unique within like that entity group, right? Within that kind, right? So you could have, the grade entries here could be if they have the IDs, those are going to be unique within all the ones that have the same parent, right? So what I can actually do is set as an ID here. I can set the username, right? So the student's row's username. So let's go ahead and do this. Notice we didn't end up using the user here, but we can do something else. We can extract the student. Well, what is the student, right? So we already have a student key. So if I ask for grade entry, so dot student key, right? So that's going to give me a key, and then if I ask to get it from the data store, so kind of the opposite of put. So get it, it's going to return that student. Well, now that I have the student, then I can assign for the ID. Any student is going to have a row's username. Common. Okay. Not too worried if you don't understand that, but the main idea is that we want for every assignment. Okay, there's only going to be one. There's only going to be one grade entry for each student, right? And this is how we're basically differentiating from each other. So if for instance, if they try to update and to use the same student time and again, then it's going to replace the grade rather than creating a new one. All right, let's go ahead and test this and see how it works here. So I'm going to go. Let's see. So that's both my inserts. So I'm going to go back to my my API. Let's go to this guy, refresh it, and we should get a couple more. All right, looks like it didn't make any mistakes. So let's try them out. So adding an assignment. Which ones did I have so far? So let's do assignment list here. Authenticate, yes. Execute. So what I had is I had lab 1 and lab 2 for me as a user. So let's go ahead and create assignment insert. Let's create a lab 3. So name lab 3. Execute, and came in no problem. Assigned it an entity key, and if we do assignment list here, then I see that I have lab 1, lab 2, and lab 3. So looks good. So let's take a look at inserting a grade entry, right? So to make a grade entry, this is the pain, right? So now I have to give it an assignment key and a student key to know which ones to come from. So it's going to be easier to do on the client. But here I need to specify them directly. So somebody is going to get a score of 80. Let's find out who. So I'm actually going to go back to my data store viewer, and let's assign Joe here. So let's have Joe, who has as his key. So I'm going to grab this entity key here. It looks like I might have grabbed a little bit too much. So grab the entity key for Joe, and we'll put this in as a student key. All right. And again, the whole thing really is there. There's a whole bunch there. Let's go ahead and add in an assignment key. So we have to go back to my data store viewer, and let's grab an assignment. And hopefully I'm grabbing an assignment. All right, so these are ones that are owned by Bowtel. These are the ones, I'm just going to blow these away while I'm here. I'm sure you have an owner for all yours. Okay, and this is, we'll say that Joe is getting a grade on lab 2, say. So let's see, so let's go ahead and do that. So grab this guy and grab the entity key. And again, let's grab the right amount here. Copy that guy, go back here, dump in the entity key. All right, and we'll execute it. And let's see, and it is complaining. All right, so let's see, service unavailable. So I have this guy running. Let's go ahead and peek to see what we got here. So when it says something about incorrect padding, I probably pasted something in weird. I wouldn't be surprised. So something about with the keys and everything. Let's see, some model.py. Let's see if any of this is actually in mine. API config. So So this is endpoints. This is all in endpoints. Don't see it where it's in mine here. Okay, so let's just gonna try it again here. So this guy, it looks like there might have been an extra space there. Hopefully that's the issue. Let me go back to this guy. Let's try it again. Yep, it looks like it just had an extra space in front of the student key here. Anyway, and it came back and it assigned this new one an entity key. So that's good. Now, what would happen if I tried to use the same thing and I changed the grade to an 81? Okay, so same student key, same entity key. Go click that guy, and it says it's okay, score of 81. Let's go ahead and we want to do a grade entry list. Let's see, so I need to give it an assignment key. So the assignment that I used was this guy right here for lab 2. Oops. So let's go ahead and grab that guy, and might have still had it on my clipboard. Go ahead and execute, and if I do that, and lab 2, we see that it comes back here with this one score that was 81. So it did overwrite it. Okay, good. Insertion, check. Come back next time for deletion.